Hi.
I
Welcome to Sunday Salutations. It is February 26, 2017. Jan, one of my number one son, has been with me the last couple days. Still walking upright, relatively.
Still in one piece.
Still in one piece. I invited him to partake in the Sunday Salutations with me, and we were just chatting over some eggs. Around the notion of mastery. I didn't really know what I was going to blab on about today. And then I mentioned that after a couple of things, and he got excited. Or something got excited. We're not, right?
Questions arose.
Would you like to pose those questions, Jan?
Yeah. So mastery is a topic I've heard you talk about quite a bit over the years. And I guess the first question that came is, what is it? It seems like mastery is relative to something else, the lack of mastery or something to that effect.
Yeah, a way to say it would be like lack of discipline, right? Just people want to be masters. It's kind of like the hero's idea, right? What is mastery? Mastery means putting your time in, right? Putting your time into something. And I think what you were saying is there's no end game. It's not to achieve something. It's actually the practice of mastery.
I see.
So I think that's where people get confused. And I often hear, well, what now, Revzo? What now, right? What do I do now? Okay, I understand, but what do I do? I'm like, oh, you don't understand. It's kind of what we've been talking about this weekend. There's inspiration, or what was the other word you were using yesterday or the day before?
Oh, it's escaping me.
It's like insight.
Insight.
So the insight comes, but that doesn't mean you understand, right? The insight's just the flash, and then the seed has to be cultivated, which would be practicing mastery. See what I'm saying? So it's the willingness to till the soil, and over time, it becomes a part of you, right? So
mastery isn't a certificate you can put up on the wall and be like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah,
I've arrived.
Unfortunately, a lot of people think that.
Well, sure.
Especially in spiritual matters, right? It's like, I have arrived. You know, as soon as you say I have arrived, what happens, Jan?
It backs you.
Yeah, the spiritual police show up, right? And they're like,
kicks you in the pants.
Yeah, here's a citation, asshole. You got to go back to the back of the line. Fuck you, asshole, right? And that's when people show up at my office, and they're like, I thought I
got there.
Yeah, I thought I broke through on this.
I got to the top of the mountain. What happened?
Well, you look back. Don't look back, right? It's like surfing. Don't look down and don't look back. Eyes on the horizon, which is mastery, right? The road to mastery is keeping your eyes right here, right?
No end point.
It's one of those, I feel like we're sitting in a koan this morning, right? It's sort of mastery, the road to mastery. Road being the key word. You know?
That's why a koan works, because there is no answer.
It's to trick the ego, right? It's like a slap on the ego, right? And it reveals the clinging nature, right? Which is why it's so upsetting, right? It's basically a koan gets you by your neck and then tickles you like fucking crazy on the ground, right? Can't stand it. You know,
Have you practiced with koans?
Life is a fucking koan. Okay. What an asshole, right? What a jerk. Me, I'm talking about myself. No, I leave that to the masters. That's the idea, right? You pick a direction and you go. You pick a direction, you go deep into one thing, right? Which is sort of novel given our consumer kind of mentality, right? Where we want to constantly get something new, start something different, you know? And I'm not advocating just sticking or being stuck in something, but really allowing yourself to deepen a relationship with something, right? And not to keep stirring the pot or adding all these ingredients, right? It's like, and I think that's why people struggle with what this is. You know, I mean, spiritual practice is the road to mastery, right? You're trying to master something that's out of control, which is your ego, you know.
Would you say master something that doesn't exist?
Well, this is where it gets weird, isn't it? What is it we're mastering anyway? Well, it's kind of, we can play with the words right now, right? That's what I'm getting right now. It's like, if you're a slave, how can you be a master? Right? So we're slaves trying to become masters. But the discovery is like, how do you enslave yourself? What are you a slave to? Who is your master, by the way? And what is this masturbation? I mean, that's I mean, we could go crazy with the mastery. Look, I just made myself blush. It's sort of like when you are completely annihilate yourself and you become one with the thing. Right? Then there is no mastery, right? There's no master and there's no slave. But we have to discover who wants to be told you're a slave, but we are. I mean, that's the nature of being on the planet, right? So we have to wake up to what we're slave to before we can actually even start the road to mastery. Or waking up to what you are a slave to is part of the road to mastery. We could whip this in many different ways. Like personally, I'm grateful that it's been taken away from me, thank God, there for the grace of God, the desire for a goal. Which can be maddening, right? Because we're so geared to have goals and periods, right? Periods and exclamation points. I like commas. I'm a devotee of the semicolon, to some people's chagrin.
The run-on sentence.
I'm an infamous run-on sentence person, right? Well, I'm retarded. Here's where this is the entryway. Actually, it kind of connects to the mastery thing, right? So I was telling Jan, I had some time on my hands, which is a funny phrase, at my airport, and something came on across my phone, like for $20 you can take an IQ test. And I've never taken one, or it may have been given to me, but I wasn't aware. Sometimes they sneak that shit in, right? They give these tests. So I took it, and I read the question as, what pattern isn't represented? I'm assuming that you guys all know because you're all very smart. So I picked, that's how I addressed all the questions, I would choose the pattern that wasn't represented. And I scored 62. I'm certifiably retarded. I mean, it says it's not borderline, that's 70. I'm 62, and it says, it said that the job you're going to be most successful at is being a stock clerk at Walmart. Which is not a problem. It wasn't putting it down, it was just saying the state of fact, and it says that you need care, you need to be watched and cared for by a human being every day. So there, you can use that excuse.
I'm pretty sure she's below Forrest Gump. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I think Forrest Gump was 70.
So that will explain, you can use that as an excuse when you're trying to explain my need to somebody. The other part of it is,
my teacher's retarded.
One of my students was really lovely. I shared the information with him, and he said, well, Rev, that's probably why you can do what you can do. I'm like, sure, you're sweet, right? But then I took the emotional IQ test because I was curious about that. because one of my best friends mentioned it to me, and I said, I'll take that. He was trying to make me feel better, right? Oh, I'm sure you go out. So I took it, and I did. I scored like extraordinarily high, and the test results said, you may be delusional. So I'm retarded and delusional. You're too emotionally. This is almost impossible. So anyway, but that's just a side note. Let's read from the Tao. This is what I turned to just a few moments ago before we started, and reflecting on this idea of mastery. And the Tao. This is a book on that. Tao.
It's about mastery.
Yeah, it's sort of the mystery of it, right? It's the mystery of the mastery, right? This is sort of deep, isn't it? It's sort of like Bruce Lee pointing at the moon, right? Don't look at my finger with what I'm pointing at. That was random. Kind of random. In the beginning was the Tao. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and traffic with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. That's kind of beautiful, isn't it?
Sounds like Bruce Lee.
The great way is easy, yet people prefer the side paths. Be aware when things are out of balance. Stay centered within the Tao. I mean, that is mastery, right? Staying centered. Let's do it backwards today. Let's just sit at the end here just for a few moments. Let's just take a minute to salute ourselves. The space we're in. Fellow travelers, teachers seen and unseen. Let's give an extra salute to all those beings that are suffering at any level of existence. Or salute those people who would like to sit but are incapable due to illness, disease, incapacitation. See if you can maintain that place that you just dropped into today. See what happens when you sit in the center and live your day from there. What is there to accomplish? Fascinating, right? All right. Go get them. Another day in paradise. Thank you, Janie. Let's turn this mother humper on.